Okay, final deck of the day. So we've played this archetype on stream once before. Towards the end of last season, this was probably my favorite deck to play. So Anivia Control, the idea with this deck is we are trying to abuse Anivia's last breath trigger that revives her and turns her into an egg to try to get multiple Anivias in play. So normally in this game, you can't put multiples of the same champion into play because if you have one in play already, any ones you draw in hand will become their champion spell. But with Anivia's because Anivia creates an egg when she dies, and that could eventually turn into another one should you become enlightened. Enlightened means you have 10 maximum mana. We can abuse cards such as this Gluttony, relatively new card to the game, was added with the Aphelios patch just before this latest expansion, and use that along with other cards like Chronicler of Ruin and the Rekindler to create multiple Anivias and or eggs, become enlightened, and then have a board with 3, 4, sometimes more Anivias. And with their very powerful attack trigger allows us to control the board and deal damage to our opponent's Nexus, and pretty much making it impossible for them to ever get set up to be able to win the game from that point on. So, question in my mind is this deck, if you're going to be playing Freljord and Shadow Isles, is this deck more consistent than the Matron Watcher combo deck that's going around right now? Oh yes, I should mention, so Three Sisters is a card that we got in the latest set, in the Shurima sort of expansion, Empires of the Ascended expansion. I think this is a great upgrade for this archetype. So this is a 1 mana burst spell that lets us create either a fleeting, so you have to use it that turn, Flash Freeze, Fury of the North, or Entomb in hand. Even though you're essentially paying 1 extra mana for these spells, because you're never really playing these cards proactively, and because of the flexibility this card provides, especially in a control deck that's looking to just kind of pass draw, and just bank spell mana, I think this is a very, very reasonable inclusion in this deck, and a good upgrade, actually, I would say, for the deck. So I put in 3 of these in the deck. There was a couple of Vengeance at the top end. I think 6 mana Entomb is better than 7 mana Vengeance most of the time. I think the Entombs can buy you enough time to get set up such that the Vengeances aren't quite as worthwhile. I also had a couple of Flash Freeze in the deck, and I've replaced the second one of those with a third Three Sisters. Still keeping the 1 Flash Freeze, even though we have 3, 4 mana versions of them with the Three Sisters, because I think Flash Freeze is, in my experience, the card that is the mode or the card you're going to pick most often with Three Sisters anyway, to help keep you alive or keep your Anivias alive to get to the late game. So I don't mind having kind of a 4th copy of that style effect in the game, because again, I think it's just a very good effect, one you're going to be picking very often. The rest of the deck is pretty much, or I think entirely identical from what we played the last time. We're still on 2 Ruination, 1 Harrowing. We got the full set of Rekindler, Anivia, Withering Wail, Catalyst of Aeons. This helps us keep us alive and ramp, getting to play our Anivia sooner, and also get to our Enlightened state much faster. Some lists are only running 2 of this card. I'm not sure why. I think you want to be playing, if anything, you want more ramp in a deck like this. But I've just been on the 3 Catalysts, and it felt good, so we're sticking with that here today. I played this list on the ladder a few times, and it's felt good, so we're just going to play some games with it today. The only cards I'm not 100% certain of, and we're going to see how they feel in this set, is most of the time the Harrowings have never felt necessary. I've never felt like I was in a position where I want to draw this, or when I did draw it, that it was useful. So I could see this being cut in favor of maybe another Glimpse Beyond, just to have more card advantage in the deck. The one has felt good, so I don't think I'd cut that and put in something else, but 2 could be fine. There's also some merit in some matchups, some situations where you want to be killing your thing to prevent your opponent from triggering effects on their cards, like Fiora's that you don't want leveled up, or other such strike effects that are generating value for your opponent, but even just as a base, kill an ally, draw 2 to help us find our combo pieces a little bit more sooner. Yes, this is kind of a combo control deck in itself. To find our key, you know, cards like Gluttonies, Anivias, or Rekindlers, depending on the situation, I think it can be good. You know, using a Glimpse Beyond an Avarosan Sentry is a draw 3 over the course of 2 turns. So, but anyway, I think enough with that. We'll play with this list as is and see how it feels. Yeah, obviously there's some situations where that harrowing is going to be very, very good. There's going to be some decks you're going to run into that want to keep your board in check, killing all your Anivias, killing all your eggs, killing all your revival cards, and you're just left with a board of nothing, and then suddenly a harrowing can win you the game right there. So they're playing sort of like a dragon mid-range deck, looks like, with Aurelion Soul at the top end. They're probably playing Eclipse Dragon with that, maybe. Probably want the Flash Freeze. I think I'm throwing away anything else here. Just looking for Gluttonies. Gluttony is like the key card you want in your opening hand, because we're running 3 Anivia at 3 Entreat, we essentially have 6 copies of Anivia in our deck, so it's much easier to find our Anivias when we need to, and Anivia plus Gluttony is one of the ways we could really get going in a deck like this. I don't need to ramp this turn, so I'm fine passing if they're also going to burn their spell mana. If they play something out, maybe it's worth avalanching. Or maybe it's worth playing Catalyst. Second Rekindler draw doesn't feel great when we already have one and no Anivia's in sight, but as the game goes along, they could be very, very good. We definitely don't want to draw the third one, because that turns off our Gluttonies. So that's kind of this awkward thing where now Gluttony, more than one Gluttony is not a great draw, and a second Rekindler is not a great draw. I think I'm fine 1-for-1ing this 3-2 because it keeps our life total high. It gives us something to spend our spell mana on this turn. So I think I'm fine doing that 1-for-1. The Avalanche I don't think is going to be too valuable in this matchup. We need things like Ruination. Well, what we just talked about that we didn't want to happen happened, so that sucks. I think what we do this turn now is we're probably playing Catalyst of Aeons post-attack from our opponent. They could just pass back here, but I doubt they will. And then we hope to run off some Anivias off the top of our deck. But at this point, I don't think it's looking good for our hero necessarily. It depends. We really just don't want to see Gluttonies, I guess, because those Gluttonies are dead draws at this point.
Here in your time of need.
Pretty fine attacking aggressively with this Anivia, I suppose, because of the fact that we have Rekindlers in hand. But we don't want to. I was gonna say we don't really want to trigger Shyvana. So, do they have a single combat here now? I bet you they do. Yep, they do. So that sucks more so because they leveled Shyvana rather than they killed our egg. We don't really care about that. So we could just play Rekindlers turn after turn, but the problem is this Shyvana is now very, very scary. Okay. Skip.
We each died, then found hope.
Could see them do a play similar to what they just did. If they have the cards for it, they might do it over the course of 2 turns. But if they're like spending mana just doing this, I think that's okay. Their Shyvana is getting really scary, but we have things like Frostbite and whatnot to... Ooh, that is a Ruination. Huh. They could be on Bastion. I don't think I'm going to put them on that card. I think we'll play the Rekindler. See what our opponent's up to. When you play a dragon, it strikes me and you draw one. Cool. Do we actually pass here? I'd like to kill this with her trigger, but that might be wrong.
For my homeland.
I think I want to kill this because this lets them play. At the very least, it could let them play Arulian Soul a turn sooner, and I don't want them to be able to do that.
Rest in ice.
I guess this means they get to open attacks. Eat this with the Shyvana, which is okay. They're spending a card to do it anyway. That's actually perfect then. So if they open attacks, we'll just chump block with the 4/4s because they're dying to this Ruination anyway.
They will be come from the dark. My time.
Oops, I was kind of overly quick. I didn't really want to do that pass. There could be merit in trying to get them to play more stuff out on the board
Ask me about dragons.
and get a little bit extra value off of this, but yeah. So they just generated a dragon in hand. I think we'll just go ahead and do this though. We don't really want to play more stuff out while they have a Strafing Strike in hand anyway, so. So we got a 1/3 out of the deal, not bad. It's another Ruination.
Leave your bags in the door. Fire and fury.
Play another one. Played this out first, they bait them into going wide. Problem is they get to play Arulian Soul next turn. We don't have much going for us. We have a leveled up Shyvana, I suppose. It's okay.
The heavens diminish without my attention.
But we have no way of generating multiple Anivias really anymore. Because our Gluttonies are dead, and I actually think I just take this hit, to be honest.
Come on in.
I do love an audience.
Let's soar.
Bow. So do we want to try to make a really big Anivia that kills Arulian Soul? 2 Fury of the North isn't even enough to do it. Unless we also pop the Spell Shield with Withering Wail, which is not going to happen. I might just do this to... well... I feel like we gotta protect the egg, almost. Just go okay. See what our opponent does. I'm fine just ending the round right there. Like, if they're not playing out the big scaries that he's generating, that's perfect. I'm gonna do... do I want to do that proactively? Oh, I guess this gives him +2/+2. Yeah, I should have passed.
Must give you more fangs.
This is gonna get +4/+4 and kill something. Could just play another Harsh Winds. kind of like this for the fact that it kills a blocker for next turn. They're not even attacking, which is interesting.
Now they'll pay attention.
Boo.
How middling.
Okay, pretty sure we want to try to kill Soul here. Actually, no, we just try to kill our opponent here. Oh man, One Fury of the North doesn't do it though. That's kind of unfortunate. Alright, let's just do this and see what our opponent does to start. I think I gotta hold up Harsh Winds here. In fact, I might even be supposed to be doing this now because we don't want to give him a window to kill the egg, although I guess if that's happening, we just play another Anivia. Using that on Soul rather than their life total is very good for us. Also seems very, very wrong from our opponent. But maybe I'm not familiar with their archetype, so maybe there's something they desperately need to ensure that they're winning the game. I think I'm supposed to Harsh Winds here. I feel like the egg's gonna die, and I want more attackers slash blockers too, so. For the turn following this. It also means that there's little chance of him leveling up the following turn by him playing out something big post-combat, and then, yeah. That I don't care about, really.
We wear red to honor the fallen.
It's getting close. Unfortunately, oh man, one of our best draws will be Chronicler of Ruin, so we can get a second Anivia in play by targeting this Rekindler. That would just add a lot of power to the board and also give us a way to kill our opponents on open attacks, even if they can put forth enough blockers.
My, how they stare.
That doesn't really do anything other than keep us alive in case something goes sideways. I guess I should do this now to pop the spell shields so that I can flash freeze whatever's targeting, you know, a key thing.
Prepare for battle!
Okay, so we can block here.
Such naivete.
And flash freeze here. Not die. We gotta kind of hope to dodge another one of their fight effects. They played a lot in the early game with that Shyvana, so we're kind of hoping they don't have another one to kill this egg. Feeling like we're in an okay spot if that happens. We have a chance. They're using it there. That is a oh, because he has Overwhelm. I didn't even notice he had Overwhelm. Right, because Thingy gives them Overwhelm. Right. I thought it was just +2/+2 for some reason. Alright, bad. So, I don't know. That game was close considering we had pretty bad draws and our opponent had really, really good ones. Maybe I shouldn't have played out into their Shyvana's fight effects as much to get her, like, super leveled as quickly as I did, but our draws were so bad I kind of felt like we needed to do something. I wanted to get under the Aurelian Soul, so to speak. Okay. Yeah, we needed to see these before we saw 3 Rekindlers for sure. So they're on the build that's running things like Deny to help counter the other sort of combo control decks, as well as they're running probably things like, oh, what's its face in the top end? Mina Swiftfoot. We fought a deck like this last week. I'm just gonna play this out because our life totals doesn't actually matter in this matchup. They kill us with yeah, they're not killing us. We're gonna attack first, see what our opponent does, because if they block, we can kill their Lysandra with 3 sisters. So if there's no enemy to stun, they don't get the 3-2. So we may as well try this. They could Nopify this. There's our Anivia, so that's great.
I am inevitable.
Go ahead and play this just to use our spell mana. It also means we can't draw another Anivia because we don't need to see another Anivia. This next turn we're probably going... That's a Ruination.
Only by my hand.
So we're definitely going to play Gluttony if they deny, or if they go below deny mana. I guess Nopify gets this too. But I don't think I put them on Nopify. If they just pass, we pass right back. Yeah, I don't want the egg to suffer, so. Other Rekindlers kind of sucks, actually, because
Plans within plans.
that just turned off our Gluttonies. But you know what it does mean?
I protect this place.
Deny. It does mean that I don't mind them countering this. Or multiples of these. They don't know we have multiple Rekindlers in hand, so... Let's do it again! Joke's on you, opponent. Those Gluttonies were useless. That is so good for us. Like, insanely good for us. So they are on Ruination mana, so I think I just open attacks to get my damage in, rather than play Rekindler open attacks. Because they are the go big. Their deck is going bigger than we are, so we need to make sure that they're dying ASAP. But I don't also actually want to spend my mana this turn, so I think we just go ahead and do this. Sure. I don't know why I didn't think, oh, they have enough resources for double for that as well.
Border from here.
Okay, they're just playing that to draw a card, I guess.
Alert the village.
Rest in ice.
I think I might be using these three sisters as ways to save these eggs.
If they're out there, I'll spot them.
So I'm not going to play the other Rekindler. We need multiple Anivias to win this game. So they could play Lysandra, and a second Lysandra in hand gives them ice shards to kill these, but we do have three sisters to pump them up and survive. So that's not, and they don't have Ruination, man. Oh yeah, they're not Shadow Eyes. What am I talking about? So yeah, they don't have Ruination. They don't have Vengeances. They don't have Withering Wails, etc. They have to play another Avalanche. They've already played 2 Ravines, so they likely don't have a third. A lot of the lists I've seen are only running 2, but they could have a third. They could have. They're almost certainly on 3 Avalanche. But we can beat that. So. You just have ice shards in hand. Okay. So Fury of the North loses to what at this point? These are going up to 5 toughness, so even... Yeah, so no, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. Now they are going up to Mina Swiftfoot mana next turn, and... I feel like if they had it, they would have played it this turn. But they could have... But they have 2 draws to find it. So I think this is another case where we're opening on attacks.
Come on in.
The Freljord's eternal guardian! Snow, wind, and ice!
I've carved meat bigger than you.
They can play another blocker anyway. Like I don't think playing the Rekindler puts them dead on, dead to known information anyway, because of the Lysandra in hand. So because we don't want to get Mina swift-footed out of this game, they're just ending the round. Sure. I think I'm okay with that. If they tap below Mina, we're playing the Rekindler.
Away.
I'll do this to start, just to spend our spell mana. You actually play all 3 and still have mana for Rekindler. Just like encourage them to
Secrets hidden by frost.
Okay. So we just pass here, right? Because if I play this and they play... well, if I play this and they play Mina, we get to play out another Anivia, I guess. And, like, it's the same thing anyway.
A new era begins.
I can do these two things, which is kind of nice.
Feet were made for roaming and kicking.
Ages pass, but I am eternal. Embrace the calm.
So I'm supposed to harsh winds here, I think, to keep our life total high, and I can still play an Anivia and then rekindle an Anivia the following turn.
Back, you, go! Here in your time of need.
Succumb.
We each died, then found hope.
I don't know if we can beat multiples.
I bring the storm.
Does Entomb stop it? Yes, maybe that was worth entombing. Maybe it was worth entombing there because of that. That's a good catch.
I warned you.
You cannot fight the code.
We might need the entomb for the Watcher, though, is the thing.
Brilliant.
Entomb will soften the Nexus. That's a good catch. But we have to see what they're going to do here first. They're denying in case. They're denying just in case. I don't think it's worth entombing Lysandra then. I need to save it for the Watcher.
Feel the power of true.
Now I'm just gonna Avalanche post-combat to kill the Lysandra.
You'll want to give me some space. Promise.
Oh, right. She can play this the same round. That's awkward.
The Freljord's eternal guardian.
Then I think you're right. I should have entombed the Mina in response to the Go Get It.
Sisters.
Oh, right. Because, yes, I should have... Yeah, okay. Yeah. So if I entomb... Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about that interaction. So if I entomb the Go Get It... No, it doesn't matter because they had the Deny in hand. They had the Deny in hand, so it wouldn't have mattered. But I should have tried. I should have tried. Yeah. And this is kind of why it's like, if you're gonna play this kind of style control deck, probably should just be playing something like what are my opponents doing, because Watcher one-shots you. Yeah, the Ionia variant is definitely the more obnoxious of the two, it feels like. They're both pretty obnoxious, though. Yeah. Because, like, we did all this work, our opponent basically did nothing the entire game and then won because of a, Yeah, it is. I guess we just ramp here. Again, our life total doesn't really matter in this matchup, so we want to be spending resources and getting to do our thing faster than our opponent. We are not drawing entreats or Anivias or even units to help us find either of those things, unfortunately.
King of Trolls coming through.
I honestly might 1-for-1 that if this was a Ruination, but it is the Harrowing. So that's no good. There's a Rekindler that's useless, so that's nice. I'm just gonna do this to keep my life total. I know I just said the life total doesn't matter, but I mean, they can eventually beat us with a Trundle. I may as well spend my resources. I don't think the effect on this card is going to be relevant this game necessarily. Alright, our opponent's just emptying their hand so they don't overdraw.
Can see the Debastian border from here.
At this point, I think we've stumbled too much that I don't think we can beat what our opponent's doing. Oh, well, that's nice of our opponent.
In Avarosa's name.
They look angry. Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Do I try to kill it here? I'm pretty sure we've lost this game anyway, so why not? We'll try.
Troll out.
Leave your tracks at the door. It was right on my tail.
Okay, they found their matron. Can they find their Lysandra? I think I'm just gonna concede if they play Lysandra here.
You gotta believe me.
Is there any reason to keep this unit around? I don't think so.
My words. Nothing escapes my watch.
This is the worst I've ever seen this deck draw.
I am Iceborn.
All things grow cold.
So we're dead. They play Matron, this. Nothing we can really do about it, because even if we entomb the one, we die to the other. Right? I don't think there's anything we can do. We entomb the one that's ephemeral. It dies... No, because actually entomb... The way entomb works, they're just going to get it back on the next time that they could attack anyway. I mean, it buys us time, but... And we don't have enough mana to entomb one, ruinate the other. Yeah, pretty sure we're dead. I guess I'll just see.
Embrace the cold.
Oh, well, finally we got entry. Doesn't really matter, unfortunately. Yeah. And this is an attack trigger, it's not a strike trigger or anything like that, so we're just dead. Yay, combo decks! Yeah, I'll play one more with this and see if we can get a more interesting match. I mean, the real reason we lost that game, besides the fact that their deck is doing some pretty busted stuff, especially when it comes to control v control. We didn't see our entreats or Anivias until turn 20 or whatever it was, so them's the breaks. Do we want Ruination for the Frostbite aggro matchup? We might actually. That's very nice. Our opponent forgot to deal 1 damage to us.
Nothing escapes my watch. In Avarosa's name.
Deal. Just to spend some spell mana.
Faster than my arrow? I think not.
Our strength is yours.
So this plus Anivia's attack next turn kills the Ash. We're gonna take a big hit here, but we have life gain in hand.
Leave your backs in the door.
Maybe I'm supposed to bank the spell mana though for the Ooh, that's a Vile Feast. That's okay, we try to Anivia first. And then we can Vile Feast when they attack. If this doesn't work. Deal Areno.
I need just a moment.
Okay. So they're probably opening on attacks next turn. We're gonna take... they're probably hooking here. I'd rather take the Ash off the table than try to save my 1 Anivia, I think. So we'll attempt to kill the Ash with the Vile Feast and hope it works out. I guess we could also Harsh Winds, eh? That might be better. Harsh Winds to keep our life, try to keep our life total high. We're going up to 7, so we can't Harsh Winds and Vile Feast, sadly. I guess we could Vile Feast and then 4 mana Flash Freeze if we need to, if we feel like there's a worry. That's actually a pretty good draw. Keeping our life total high is nice, and getting to our Enlightened state faster is obviously good. Our opponent's having connection problemos. I'm not sure how we simulate them actually taking a turn here, because I don't want to play out stuff proactively. I guess... Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess we'll do... Oh, apparently my math is wrong, and we do have enough resources to do... Why? What? My math is way off today. So we'll do this. If they have a second Ashe, it's obviously wrong to do this proactively. Sure. But I guess we have another blocker now, so that's kind of nice. Okay. Well, at least we get somewhat of a game here. Now the question is, what are we playing? I think it's Rekindler to try to kill the Glory Seeker, maybe?
We each died, then found home.
If they have another Reckoning, I suppose it's gonna be kind of nasty, but... So maybe with that in mind, I'm supposed to keep up, or I'm supposed to do something else.
I'll break this siege.
For my homeland.
Let's get rid of the Glory Seeker. They didn't block. That's interesting. I feel like you block there because the 0-1 egg can't block if you have ways to level up Ashe. Like, all it takes is a couple cards and they'll be able to get unblockable attacks in.
Avarosans, stand together.
I will endure.
I think I'm actually just... no, I don't think I want to take the 5. I guess this means Ashe doesn't die, but she's dying to open attacks next turn.
One candle for every soul. Fight time!
Alright, what do they have?
This'll take the chill off.
The Freljord's eternal guardian. This is our time. For my homeland.
Annoyingly, they can actually live with Captain Pharaon up.
Till the end!
So that could be annoying, but we'll see what they got. They're blocking with them though, so that's actually excellent.
Winter's Claw.
Hard to imagine where we can lose this
The
game.
Freljord's eternal guardian!
Oh yeah, with that Entreat in hand, I don't think we're losing this game anymore. Because we can fish up an 8-mana Harsh Winds.
They will bleed for Noxus. I have my orders.
Warm hearts and hot soup.
Noxus will rise.
Which I think I actually play just to keep our life total as high as possible. I could obviously, like, Catalyst of Aeons, but... Alright, opponent knows it's over. Cool. I think that's gonna do it for me for today for Runeterra. We had some pretty decent games. Gonna end on a high note. So I'm gonna take a bit of a break before we move on to the next game. We're gonna do the final campaign of the Lord of the Rings adventure card game. And I have a cat that's mewing at me, so gives me time to take care of that too. Yeah, good stuff. I don't know, this was like I mentioned at the start of the set, this was probably my favorite deck in the format just before the most recent expansion. Just really enjoy the play patterns of it. Feels like it's just a very fun control deck for me. Of all the control decks I've played in Runeterra thus far, this is probably my favorite, other than maybe like some bad Swain Yasuo stun control decks, just because I love those cards. But if we're talking about ones that can actually win games on the ladder in ranked, then this was definitely my go-to and one of my favorites. Again, didn't really see any games where the harrowing felt like it was necessary. So like the more I play with this, the more I feel like we could throw away the harrowing. And then of course there's going to be a game where I'm like, damn, I wish I had that harrowing. But as is, the deck feels fine. Like the only thing I would think to replace it with is just another Glimpse Beyond, just because more card draw to more consistently find our Anivias or our Gluttonies or whatever we need to get set up more consistently feels good. But as is, this exact set of cards feels great. So yeah, if you are looking for an interesting control deck and don't mind losing to the Watcher control decks that are being played right now, or other such combo decks, maybe this is one worth checking out. And you could probably hear the cat being very annoying in the background, right, Billy?